Welcome to another edition of Robot Wars Extreme Warriors on the new TNN. Last time you would have seen Brawler hit the hole and Tricerabot go through. Today you're going to see the return of General Chompsalot, who's going to try to eat up his opposition. And the return of Runaway, who's going to try to keep his wheels on the ground this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Master of Mayhem, Mick Foley.
Alrighty then, thank you. Well, thank you very much. The battles continue. The Robot Wars Extreme Warriors tournament is really heating up. There are only 2 spots left in the championship show, and tonight, 1 more will be gone. 6 robot extreme machines will enter the arena. Only 1 will emerge on its own power. A fight to the death. A few minutes of mayhem are the only things that stand between our contenders and a chance to be named the Robot Wars Extreme Warriors champion. Let's go to Carol, who's got the inside scoop in the pits.
Thanks, Mick. Hi, I'm Carol Groh, and I'm back in the pits, and it's heating up. I've got 6 teams preparing for tonight's competition. Now, the robots are charged, and so are the Roboteers. Let's get the battle underway.
They're lean, mean, fighting machines. I think I just described myself. Let's go to the battle boards and take a look at today's matchups.
All right, Mick, but unfortunately you're not on this battle board. And I'll tell you who is. Runaway, Destructive Criticism, and Lightning Tracks will be fighting it out. But first up, we're going to see the return of General Chompsalot, G-Force, and the Marauder.
I'm here today with our first team, General Chompsalot 2. 2, meaning that you're back for the 2nd series. Tell me how you feel about your chances this time with your new and improved robot.
We wanted to up the ante a little bit this year, make them a little stronger. This year the jaw is much more powerful than last year.
How much more powerful?
Well, last year it was pretty much just a capture jaw. You could get the robot, but you couldn't really do damage. This year it's got 3,000 pounds of crushing force in the back. When it gets out here, about 1,000 pounds. So
that's a lot of chomping power.
It's enough to chomp and then some.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I've made it over to G-Force. G-Force, tell me about this robot that looks like a rocket.
Well, it is a very powerful robot. We got 8 horsepower.
That's great.
We got 2 CO2 compressed cylinders running these 2 24-inch arms with 8-inch steel spikes. So we'll be able to get through just about anything out there.
Is there anything you want to say to your competition?
Hold on to your butt. G-Force is coming.
Marauder, it's a pretty tough name for a lightweight robot.
Tough robot. Just because it's light doesn't mean anything. David was able to beat Goliath, and we think we can do the same.
Tell me what it's made out of.
Bulletproof Lexan.
That's pretty impressive. How do you think you'll do in competition against the bigger robots?
Ordinarily, a bigger robot would win, but this is not an ordinary robot. We think it's better than the average big bot.
We hope you do well.
Thank you.
From New Berlin, Wisconsin, General Chompsalot 2.
And the new improved General Chompsalot, in at 217 pounds. He's been upgraded in every way. He's more powerful, he's faster, and he's heavier.
From Bend, Oregon, Marauder.
And Marauder in at half the way to anybody else in his opposition today. He's got a couple of trailer hitch balls on his spinning arm and a bulletproof protective dome.
From Virginia Beach, Virginia, G-Force.
And last but not least, G-Force at 220 pounds has got 4 8-inch spikes that'll penetrate just about any aluminum, but he's got no self-righting mechanism.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there's G-Force on the left and General Chompsalot on the right. And there's the Marauder team with Jack Harwick at the controls. And the housebots joining us tonight will be Shunt with his Diamond Edge axe. And joining Shunt, Matilda with her Tusks of Doom.
3, 2, 1, activate.
And as Refbot shows the green light. The bots are off and ready to do some damage. Chompsalot with a mouth wide open. Marauder getting them steel balls spinning around. And G-Force just sizing up the opposition. G-Force in the back of Marauder. Definitely an agile robot, G-Force. Said they designed it after a F-14. We'll see if the Jets can light up on this thing. Chompsalot sitting out in the middle of the arena. Oh, look at the speed! Well, there was some F-14 speed, I'll tell you that. Right off of G-Force, plowing right into the side of Marauder. And now Marauder and Chompsalot are having a little go. Marauder runs out of one corner patrol zone and into the other, right into Matilda's tusks. And Marauder is still in that corner patrol zone, not moving too much. G-Force is dishing out some big high-velocity damage here. They've got all kinds of speed. They weren't really boasting about their driving ability, but now Shunt is out in the middle of the arena, and Chompsalot tries to launch himself right over Marauder. Marauder doesn't have that spinning arm going, and something has just flown off. Chompsalot has a little attack on Refbot. Wrong bot there, Chompsalot. And now Shunt is testing to see if G-Force is still alive. G-Force is just sitting in the middle of the arena. Chompsalot is still very well in motion and working and trying to run over G-Force right now. As we get the Shunt eye view, well, G-Force and Chompsalot are precariously dangled right on top of that flipper. Let's see if the flipper's got enough power to put over 350 pounds up into the air. The audience thinks it's going to happen. And Refbot clears Chompsalot off the ramp. As G-Force does its F-14 imitation finally. Well, they look humbled up in the booth. There it was. Wow, that is easily the biggest error we have seen in Robot Wars. Impressive. And it's the first time we've seen his 8-inch steel spikes coming out of there as buries G-Force. And it's over for them.
Cease.
I guess we all know who's not going on in the competition. Unfortunately, for the team from G-Force, their quest is over in the tournament as they ended up down in the pit. It'll be Marauder and General Chompsalot moving on. Okay, I'm standing here with all three teams. Unfortunately for G-Force, the journey's over. Now you're a young man. How many months, possibly years, will it take you to get over this devastating setback?
Lots.
Lots?
The design was perfect. Faulty wires.
Faulty wires? All right, I'll buy that for a second here. But now, General, you return to the Robot Wars with an even more powerful jaw, but you're facing a team like Marauder that rides so low to the ground that even though they were a lightweight robot, you really couldn't do much with them. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, their skirts were surprisingly effective. They were hard to get in that mouth. We thought they'd be a little bite-sized for us.
Nonetheless, you move along. Now, Jack, you are a guy who's traveled the world. You are an aerospace engineer. You put men on the moon. But did it compare to the thrill you got competing right here at Robot Wars?
This was more personal and less bureaucratic.
All right, well put. I wish you luck, and wish you luck, and I wish you luck with the rest of your life, because it's going to be a tough one to get over. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for all the Roboteers.
So after the first round, G-Force is the first victim, and Marauder and Chompsalot go through.
G-Force has no force as Shunt has its way with the bot, flipping him and dropping him into the pit and out of the competition. When we come back, Marauder and General Chompsalot go on to round two. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Robot Wars Extreme Warriors. One bot has already bitten the dust, and 4 more will soon follow. A feisty lightweight Marauder maneuvers through to round 2 with General Chompsalot. Who will they face? Let's find out.
All right, Mick, next we've got the return of Runaway with destructive criticism and lightning tracks.
I'm down here in the pits with the robot Runaway, Team Runabout. Tell me about the robot.
Well, we've made a lot of improvements since the last series. It pushes harder, the weapon spins faster, and everything's tougher and stronger on it.
So you're back for the second series, hopefully to take the U.S. title home.
Well, we'd certainly like to show some improvement over the first series. Any improvement we'll take.
And how fast does the robot run?
The robot has been slowed down just a bit to about 10 miles an hour, but pushes at least half again as hard.
Oh, well, that's good. But it only runs right up. It can't be inverted.
It is a worry of ours. Last time we did have some trouble with that. I think some improvement on my driving might help.
And if not, can Aaron take over?
What do you think, Aaron?
Yes.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Lightning Tracks. That sounds like a pretty fast machine. Tell me about your robot.
It's pretty quick. It's an invertible bimodal machine that allows me to go both upside down and also switch the forward and the reverse on this robot.
Oh, impressive.
It has a linear actuator as a weapon that allows me to actually lift robots up as well as go below the plane to adjust the level of these spikes.
Rumor has it you have a secret weapon. Are you willing to tell us about that?
Well, then it wouldn't be secret.
How do you feel about your competition?
No bot can survive being hit by lightning tracks.
Last but certainly not least, I have Team Boomer with Destructive Criticism. Tell me about your robot.
Okay, Destructive Criticism is a new bot. It is 220 pounds, four-wheel independent drive, 15 horsepower Briggs & Stratton motor, running well-proven 18-inch spinning horizontal disc.
I heard that you did a test run with it. Tell me how that turned out.
It tore large holes in the wall.
Makes you feel pretty confident.
Oh, yes.
This is your first series in competition, and we wish you lots of luck.
Thank you very much.
Have fun.
From Long Beach, California, Destructive Criticism.
And there we have Destructive Criticism in at 220 pounds. He's got a 1,200 RPM spinning horizontal blade for a weapon and that rear-mounted wedge for defense.
From Richardson, Texas, Lightning Tracks.
And to add to the military theme of this round, Lightning Tracks at 215 pounds. It's got a lifting platform and tracks for driving and a hefty little spike on the rear end.
From Salem, Oregon, Runaway.
And the returner Runaway at 215 pounds. He's got a couple of rotating steel blades on the side, a real high clearance, and a bit of a ramp in the front.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there's Destructive Criticism with Randy Eubanks at the controls. And there's teams Lightning Tracks and Runaway. And the housebots in this round will be Matilda with her interchangeable tail shredder. And joining Matilda will be the push and power of Shunt.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Get to go. Refbot backs out of the middle. Destructive Criticism in there testing the power of Lightning Tracks. Lightning Tracks has those ropes hanging off the front, which are disaster for any spinner. They're hoping to get them tangled up inside the motor works and just wipe out any weaponry. Runaway goes over and hits the pit trigger. Smart bit of strategy. And Lightning Tracks and Destructive Criticism are fighting it out. Destructive Criticism looks like it has a little rope stuck in the old spinner there. And it lost the howitzer right off the front of Lightning Tracks. Runaway just came up there and removed that pseudo gun off the top of him. Well, that was a breakaway piece anyway, not very vital, but there is some major damage on the back of Runaway right now. It looks like his old suspension system is just destroyed. The disc off the front of Destructive Criticism is doing some major damage. Look at that. That's a solid steel wheel. Destructive Criticism's disc just went in there and mashed it up like it's a piece of white bread. Unbelievable. And Runaway is not running anywhere today. They are so beat up. It's unbelievable. Refbot's trying to separate Runaway from Lightning Tracks. Well, the Runaway's at least still got one of its weapons going, but Refbot's going to break it up. And I have a feeling that Lightning Tracks has suffered some of the same damage. There is pieces everywhere in the arena as Refbot counts down. Now, you know, only two are going to go through from here, so it's a question of who is out first. In my opinion, it seemed to me like Lightning Tracks was well and truly out of it first. And the housebots are agreeing as Shunt lines up Lightning Tracks for a bit of airtime. And there was still a few things left to fly off of that bot. I think that we're going to pass Parch through a 3-inch hoop after this round, because there ain't much left of him.
Cease.
As we look at the thing get air over Runaway, you wonder whether these guys use rubber bands to put this thing together, because everything's flying off of it. Well, I hope they don't make our tanks that way.
Well, all right, destructive criticism having its way with both the other robots, but Runaway will join destructive criticism in advancing. We're going to have a chance to talk to all the Roboteers. Now, first, let me talk to the Dark Force team. Not a real good day for your robot out there. Is it jet lag or something like that?
Well, we had some transmitter difficulties. I could get only really sporadic signals to the bot on the drive. The weapon was working, at least the actuating lifting arm, but the rest of the robot was just kind of sputtering.
So the actuating lifting arm was working, but you're going to blame it on technical problems and not your own inefficiency as a Roboteer. Is that correct?
They beat me fair.
Okay, now listen, Aaron, I got to ask you. The Runaway is a battle-hardened veteran out there. It looked to me like maybe Runaway was a victim of its own power. It just kind of ran up on that robot, and then it was immobilized, letting destructive criticism really have its way with your tires. Do you think that you guys have the fortitude and the know-how to go back there into the pits and to make things happen so you can advance into this tournament?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like a challenge to you guys. Beating up on the poor kid. What's the deal there?
Well, he's not a kid. He's a competitor.
Okay, yeah.
I beat up on the robot.
All right. Let's hear it for all the Roboteers.
So, with G-Force and Lightning Tracks the first casualties, we're going to see Marauder and destructive criticism. But first up, Chompsalot and Runaway.
Runaway proving faster than lightning, sprinting into round 2. Destructive criticism follows after dismantling Lightning Tracks and eliminating it from the competition. When we come back, round 2, stick around. Yeah, all righty. Thank you. Thank you. I said I'd get to you in a second. But right now, you're watching Robot Wars Extreme Warriors on the new TNN. Round 1 is long gone, leaving memories of mass destruction. 4 robots have advanced to round 2. Let's go to the battle board and get our first matchup.
All right, Mick, we're going to see Marauder up against destructive criticism. But first up, Chompsalot up against a rebuilt Runaway.
Once again, I'm down in the pits. I'm right outside the tunnel. I've got Runaway. I've got Chompsalot. Runaway, do you have a strategy?
Well, our name's Runaway, and we may end up doing that. We're old friends of the General. We've been tag team partners in the past, and we know what they're capable of, so we'll be on the lookout for them.
Friends outside the arena?
Inside the arena, it's all gloves off.
Anything goes, right, Aaron?
Yeah, we'll go and get them.
Okay, Chompsalot, what do you think about what they're saying?
I agree. You know, we're friends outside of the arena, but once we're inside, anything goes. I expect them to go for me, and I'm going to go for them.
Business is business.
You got it.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to this battle, so let's get to it.
Hi, I'm Mark Jorger. This is Aaron Jorger and Lisa Jorger. Together, we're Team Runamuck. This is our robot Runaway. We're back this time. We're stronger, we're tougher, we're faster, and we're going to put a big dent in somebody.
Hi, I'm Tim Berghofer with Team Jawbreaker. Here's the Jawmaster Dave and the General's new dentist Marty. Here's the General. He's long, he's strong, and he's ready to get another robot in those jaws and have some crunch time.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there's General Chompsalot with Tim Berghofer at the controls, Dave Grzinski, and Martin Bahajak. And there's Runaway with a Jorger family with Mark Jorger at the controls. And joining them, the first appearance, the heater, Sergeant Batch. And joining Bash, also in a first appearance tonight, the ever-present Dead Metal.
3, 2, 1, activate.
And RefBot gives the green light, backs out, Runaway backing and going straight into the pit trigger. Great bit of strategy right from the first 10 seconds. And Chompsalot and Runaway are in a headlock with each other. And Chompsalot's got a bit of drivetrain on Runaway. I think it's either the drivetrain or one of the blades. It's hard to say what that chain's doing, but Chompsalot is taking full advantage. And unfortunately, Runaway's put the pit open. They may be the first one in it, as Chompsalot goes for inversion tactics and buries that spike right into the underbelly of Runaway. Runaway looks like they're in real trouble. They got no Shreemec, no self-righting mechanism, and Bash is coming in with a heater, trying to cook things up and see if we can get any motion out of Runaway. RefBot is counting down. Dead Metal and Bash are waiting to clean up the disaster. Well, they almost cleaned each other up there. At least Dead Metal took a little shot at Bash. That's not supposed to happen. Runaway is just going to get sawed, munched, burnt, and crispified. And there's nothing they can do about it. Chompsalot's still trying to have a couple of digs. Even though the countdown is out, there's Bash with a flamethrower. Poor Runaway is not running anywhere today. And Bash tries to light Chompsalot up, even though the round's over. The pit is precariously close, but Bash actually just blocked Chompsalot from going in it. Poor Runaway up against the rails, nowhere to go. And Chompsalot looks like the one to beat in today's Robot Wars. Runaway used a great bit of strategy. Unfortunately, they just didn't have the power to see it through. It's amazing what a Shreemec can do for you, but it's a bit of an afterthought now, as Bash pulls back Runaway, bringing it ever closer to the pit that the audience is chanting for. And Chompsalot's got a piece. Chompsalot wants a piece, and it's going to be a tug-of-war now. Oh, a whole new event. Even though the winner's been decided, Chompsalot is still in it to do some more damage. And Bash and Chompsalot look like they're fighting it over for some extra scraps from Runaway. And now Chompsalot's running away with Runaway. Nice bit of driving by Chompsalot, beating out the housebots and everything. And he has the honors of burying the Runaway team.
C.
So it's General Chompsalot with a stunning victory, marching on to the finals. Unfortunately for Runaway, they went rolling into the pit. Runaway has been a formidable competitor here on Robot Wars, but it seemed like it just wasn't prepared for the attack of the General. Is that correct?
Yes, but we're friends.
Okay, well, it didn't seem very friendly to me what the General did to you. It may have been even a little excessive. I mean, Runaway was already decapitated. Here you are shoving it, and then you end up fighting with the house robots like you're two dogs fighting over the same bone and maybe trying to send a signal to your competitors.
Well, we both agreed in the beginning that we were both going to go after each other, and that's what I did.
Well, hopefully you go after your opponents in the finals.
Yeah, I didn't want to let the house robots have all the fun. So.
All right. House robots might be after you, though, as you progress. I hope not, too. But anyway, great job, and let's put our hands together for Aaron and all the other Roboteers there. Yeah.
Runaway, you look like you had a strategy and you were really focused in the beginning. What happened?
We went for the pit trigger right at the start. We were going to try to push the General in, but it looked like he was waiting for us. He just ran straight for our side, and he's designed perfectly for that.
Well, he kind of chomped you up a little bit, but did you have fun?
Oh, we had a great time, sure, and we're still friends with the General.
Okay, well, good. Well, I'm glad that you had fun, and we'll see you next time.
So there it is. Chompsalot runs away with it. Next up, Marauder and Destructive Criticism.
General Chompsalot on the offensive, chasing Runaway right out of the building and the competition. The General goes to the finals. When we come back, another warrior steps forward to challenge the General for a spot in the Robot Wars Extreme Warriors Championship. Don't move and stop bothering me. Yeah, and welcome back to Robot Wars Extreme Warriors, where an over-persistent fan has just been removed from the premises. In our last battle, General Chompsalot made quick work of Runaway, buying himself a berth in the finals. Who will join him in the final fight? Let's go to the battle board for our next matchup.
Okay, Mick, with General Chompsalot through, Marauder and Destructive Criticism fight it out for the last spot in today's final.
Once again, I'm down in the pits, right outside the tunnel. I've got two solid teams. I got Marauder, I've got Destructive Criticism. Now, Marauder, you're at a slight disadvantage, I know, in size. What's your strategy?
Well, I'm going to depend on luck, but this game is a lot like paper, rock, scissors. You can have a rock, but if the other guy's got paper, there's not too much you can do.
Does that make you feel like you have a huge advantage?
Well, I believe I do have an advantage with this bot, but there's been a lot of major upsets so far in the competition, so you really don't know what's going to happen until the buzzer sounds.
Okay, well, be careful of the house spots, both of you. We look forward to this. Let's get it on.
Hi, we're Team Robo Supply. This is Dustin Cowell, Platt Green, and Jack Harwick. The robot is Marauder. It's a Lexan dome with a spinning weapon. The weapon spins at 3,000 RPM, will hit with 2,000 pounds of force, and that's why we think we can do well in Robot Wars.
My name is Randy Eubanks. This is Barry Young and Christian Gomez. We are Team Boomer Combat Robotics. This is my new creation, Destructive Criticism. It is a 220-pound robot with 24-volt drive and weapon motor on an 18-inch aluminum disc with steel teeth. Here at Robot Wars, we fear no bot.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Marauder with a spinner with Jack Harwick at the controls, Platt Green and Dustin Cowell joining him up in the booth. And there's Destructive Criticism with Randy Eubanks at the controls, Christian Gomez and Barry Young joining him. And the house bot in this round, the ever-capable Dead Metal. And joining Dead Metal, Sergeant Bash with his flamethrower.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Here we go for a place in today's finals. Destructive Criticism and that 1,200 RPM disc has been shredding everybody in his opposition today. The Marauder has got a lot of work to do if it wants to stay in this one. Marauder's just going to stay out of the way if it can, and it goes for a pit trigger, it looks like. And now it's spun the little star right off the top of Destructive Criticism. Great bit of frisbee action there. The pit is dropping. The audience wants to see something. And Marauder's got up to full speed with that spinning arm. So far, he's only torn off a little emblem of a Destructive Criticism. But now he is in the wrong place at the wrong time. Right into that corner patrol zone with Bash, and he smartly got out of trouble. Destructive Criticism out to the middle of the arena, and Marauder dancing around in the flames. Destructive Criticism seems to have his work cut out for him right now because that disc hasn't really been penetrating any aspect of Marauder. There's nothing to grab onto, really. Even though he's half the weight, Marauder, he's got that bulletproof shell made out of Lexan, and it's just been taking glancing blows as Destructive Criticism got caught in the grinder for a second. And that might have done his blade in. I have a feeling it might have. Look at that, he just wedged it in there good and proper. Destructive Criticism may be in a little bit of trouble, but immediately Marauder goes into the rail and bends one of his arms completely off. So it's a single arm Marauder with Dead Metal out in the middle of the arena as well. For some reason, I don't know why, he's lost his mind. Refbot saying, get back to your corner. And Destructive Criticism still trying to angle in Marauder, and Marauder just commits robicide.
Cease.
A little prophecy there on the bottom of Marauder.
Oh, thank you. Well, we saw a very game performance by a very light Marauder, but it turned out there was Destructive Criticism kind of rolling its way to the finals, dumping Marauder down into the pit. Okay, Marauder, a very good job out there. We mentioned your robot, one of the lighter weight models, put up a very good fight until it lost half of its weaponry. Did that throw your game off?
The weapon wasn't the problem. It was mainly my driving. I drove right into the pit.
Indeed you did. Now you guys, do you think you'll be able to do that kind of damage in the finals?
I'm hoping to do a lot more damage in the finals.
A lot more damage. And we're looking forward to it, guys. You did a great job, and I think everybody should give you a nice round of applause. Yeah.
Marauder, you were doing so well. If you wouldn't have driven yourself into the pits, I mean, what do you think would have happened?
I think it was a draw up to that point. We were both still running strong, so it could have gone either way at that point.
Exactly. Well, we hope to see you back. You did a great job.
Thank you.
So with Marauder and Runaway out of it, this is how the finals today line up. We're going to see General Chompsalot up against Destructive Criticism.
Destructive Criticism destroying everything in its path, sending Marauder out to pasture. So it will be Destructive Criticism versus the General in hand-to-hand combat when we return. Who will go to the championship? Don't even think about changing the channel. Thank you, and welcome back to Robot Wars Extreme Warriors. The time has arrived for the final showdown. 4 robots have been sent packing in a series of thrilling battles. Only General Chompsalot and Destructive Criticism remain. Let's take a look and see how they got here.
All right, Mick, here's how they lined up in the first battle. We saw Runaway up against Destructive Criticism and Lightning Tracks, but first we saw Chompsalot, G-Force, and Marauder. So the return of Chompsalot in a new, upgraded, more powerful version seemed to take a lot of advantage in the first round. But G-Force was not to be undone. It had plenty of speed and plenty of power, a bit of good driving ability, and Marauder acted as a jump for Chompsalot more than once or twice in that round. Chompsalot got tangled up with Refbot, and then Shunt was testing out G-Force just to see if he was still mobile. And G-Force were boasting that they were taking their designs from the F-14 fighter jet. But the only real similarity I saw with G-Force and an F-14 was how much air it got right off of this ramp. They were out of it, and Shunt came to clean up the garbage. Oops. Next up, we saw Destructive Criticism, Lightning Tracks, and Runaway. Now, Destructive Criticism were up to full speed with that blade off the front. Lightning Tracks, with their track motion, were very low to the ground and took the first hit off a Runaway, ripping the gun right off the top there. Fortunately, it wasn't loaded. And then Runaway got obliterated by that 1,200 RPM spinning disc off the front of Destructive Criticism. Destructive Criticism was definitely the one to beat in this round. He just completely demolished his opposition. There was nothing but robot carcasses left over after Destructive Criticism had its way. And I'll tell you, Runaway got through by the skin of their teeth. Lightning Tracks was the first immobilized, which means they were out of it.
Well, it looks like we became the meat in a bot sandwich.
So after 2 rounds, G-Force and Lightning Tracks go out, which meant we were down to 4. And first up, we saw Chompsalot and Runaway fight it out. Straight out of the blocks, Runaway went right for a strategy move and hit that pit trigger. And then Chompsalot came along and made him pay for it. And the audience were screaming for the pit, but Chompsalot had something else in its mind. It was going to do some damage with a spike, knocking the drivetrain right off of Runaway. Runaway didn't have any Shreemac capabilities, so they were just stuck up against the rail. And Chompsalot was taking full advantage, and then Bash got in on the action, pulling Chompsalot out of his well-deserved meal. And Bash went in there with a flamethrower and the pincers and just crunched down on Runaway and dragged Runaway out to the middle of the arena. They were hoping to stick him in the pit until Chompsalot came along to play a little tug-of-war. Chompsalot was not about to give up easily and ended up winning the tug-of-war and the round.
The General's a friend of ours, and we knew we were in trouble here. He's built just perfect to do exactly what he did to us.
We gave the General strict orders to immediately start chomping, and we did so.
So fighting it out for one place left in today's finals was Marauder up against the awesome Destructive Criticism. Now, Destructive Criticism didn't show its power like in previous rounds, and Marauder was actually in there to do some damage. Unfortunately, Destructive Criticism got stuck in the grinder and seriously damaged its front wheel. And then Marauder went up against the rail and smashed one of its arms off. After that, it was all about the housebots getting in on the action. Dead Metal was in there trying to munch away at Destructive Criticism. Refbot was running interference, but Marauder ended up committing suicide, jumping in the hole.
Well, next time I'll have more driving lessons.
We came, we sawed, he left.
So with two more victims out of it, we've got our final. And that is the return of General Chompsalot and Destructive Criticism.
I've got two tough teams ready to battle it out, so don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to have more Extreme Warriors on the new TNN.
Yeah, alrighty then. Robot Wars is back, and we're down to the wire. General Chompsalot and Destructive Criticism get ready to take each other on. I bet that annoying kid wishes he was still here. Let's get it on!
I've got General Chompsalot, I've got Destructive Criticism. Whoever wins this battle will go on to the grand finale. Now, in the last battle, what happened?
Well, our opponent, we were hitting him quite a bit. Put a couple holes in their Lexan armor, and then they dove into the pits.
That's right. Now, you don't have the same advantage on this next battle because they're a little bit heavier than Marauder was.
This is correct. This is one of the bots that I'm really worried about.
Okay, well, we're going to wish you some luck. Now, in the last battle, you took your opponent Runaway, you put him in your jaws, and you drove him down to the pit. What do you plan on doing to this guy over here?
Well, we're equally as worried. We've seen what that spinner can do, so I think this is definitely going to be a driving game. I'm going to be avoiding that spinner, and he's going to be avoiding my jaws, so it's going to be a lot of jockeying.
Well, we're excited to watch these two service teams battle it out.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there's the awesome upgraded General Chompsalot with Tim Berghofer at the controls. And there's Destructive Criticism and its crew of patriots. The housebots in this final for today will be the Flamethrower and Bash. And joining Bash, the first appearance tonight, all 616 pounds a kilowatt.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Here we go. This is for a place in the grand finals. Chompsalot, with its mouth wide open, goes right into the side of Destructive Criticism. They're both parallel parked right next to each other, and nobody's moving. It's incredible. Talk about your one-hit wonders. The drivetrain off of Chompsalot totally took him out. I can't figure out what's happened to Destructive Criticism, but look at that. Just a little bit of high siding, and the chain was right off. I don't know what's happened to Destructive Criticism. They definitely lost their wheel with that chain, but I shouldn't have thought that would have been their drive motor as well. And Refbot comes in to count them out, but no! Destructive Criticism is still alive, still got a motor on him, not much in the weaponry, so he's gonna turn into a ramming bot instead. Oh, and Refbot goes with a count anyway. Chompsalot is going to be the victim of this final. Destructive Criticism just amazingly got its power out. I don't know if there was some frequencies floating around in the air that was jamming their controller or what, but they didn't have power, and all of a sudden they did. As the housebots come in to clear up the debris, that debris would happen to be General Chompsalot. New and improved or not, they didn't have what it takes to survive this final, and Bash goes in with its own chomper. General Chompsalot is well and truly out of it. And what a shame. We were looking forward to an amazing battle with Chompsalot. And all of a sudden, one hit and they were toast. They get lined up for the flipper. Chompsalot's going to take some air. Oh, and lost a wheel in the process. Well, the wheel wasn't doing it much good anyway. Look at that. Good air, but I don't think it got the air that G-Force got in a couple of rounds before, as Chompsalot comes in to bury what's left of poor General Chompsalot. Oh, almost. Destructive Criticism put themselves in the pit. They just were trying to clean up a wheel. Look at that. Snapped right off the axle. And Chompsalot hanging precariously over the pit. Sergeant Bash is waiting for the cue, and Chompsalot takes it instead.
C.
Well, there you have it, Robot Wars fans. The most unbelievable, exciting it. All right. Maybe that wasn't quite what we were looking for, but on Robot Wars, sometimes, like Mama says, it bees that way sometimes. So it will be Destructive Criticism rolling on to the finals. Unfortunately for General Chompsalot, he ended up in the pit. Let's find out what happened. Gentlemen, it looks like all of us made a little bit of history here, possibly the quickest bout on any Robot Wars episode. So happens it came in a final. Like I said, a little anticlimactic. General Chompsalot's a battle-hardened veteran, and we were expecting a little bit more.
Yeah, we were too. We're curious to open up the cover and see what happened. I mean, it was one hit and it was dead, so we're kind of at a loss right now with what happened.
But I know the General will be back sometime, guys. They can't really brag too much. I mean, one hit and they were done. What do you think now going on to the grand final? You come in with confidence?
Well, I did break my chain on that one hit, so my weapon was dead at the same time. Just, I could still roll.
Well, you'll still roll on to the grand finals. Well, that's it for this episode of Robot Wars. But make sure to tune in next time when 6 more robots work their way to the grand finals in an attempt to become the Robot Wars Extreme Warriors champion. Until next time, General, fight on.
So for the grand finals, we've got Panzer Mark IV, Rocky Bot Bower, Conquering Clown, Propellerhead, Rosie the Riveter, Tricerabot, and Destructive Criticism. And fighting it out for that last spot in the grand finals will be Buzz, Tyrannobot, Falcon Mark II, Bunny Attack, Xylon, and Paul Bunyan.